On today's episode, we are recapping a Week 11 NFL slate that leaves us 3 weeks away from the fantasy playoffs. There was drama, there was heartbreak, there was intrigue, there was unfortunately Tim Boyle. It was a hell of a Sunday. If you are new to this channel, we recap each Sunday of Red Zone by running through our winners and losers, sending guilty culprits to fantasy jail, and airing out some of our bad takes on milk was a bad choice. But before we dive in, what are we? 11 weeks into the season. We got 4 or 5, 6 more weeks before we're wrapping things up. We've done over 100 episodes over the past 18 months. If you are listening now, you are a ride or die, or you're new to the channel. Regardless, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. This channel is completely free, and it's the #1 way that you can support the Regression to the Mean podcast. We want to make 100 more. We have a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It was looking a little bleak. It was looking a little jover, but we had a couple subs come across the finish line last week. If you haven't had a chance, please do it. It would mean the world to us. Yes, we are pandering. It's borderline begging, but we would appreciate it. That's how you can support us. Guys, anything to say to the Mean Team before we dive in to winners and losers?
Lock in. Bye season is among us. Yeah. I hope we've all got a bit more energy than my co-host Keegan here, because this is real grind season.
Keegan is dead inside, and Aidan's just like, lock in, give me more. Aidan's like, I wish I was in more leagues that I could win right now. That's like the energy.
I'm just like a punching bag, bro. It's just like I just keep bouncing back. I'm relentless when it comes to fantasy football. It's just give me more.
Keegan, we're gonna skip you. I don't think you have anything positive to say here to the Mean Team. All right,
dude. Like, if you could just like write a list of everything that could have gone wrong today in terms of football for me, like I would have checked. I would have checked at every box. I mean, I was a Debo touchdown away from winning a pretty tasty underdog slip. Promo code RTM if you want to make pick'ems like me that don't hit and go 4 for 5. I'm staring, thinking about. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Winners and losers. I'm like, oh well, maybe I talk about the Chargers. I'm like, oh wait, Justin Herbert was the best rusher on the offense for the Chargers today, so I don't really get to talk about Austin Ekeler. I'm like, oh, the Pollard posse is back and got into the end zone, but what does that matter when I still lose by 60? I'm like, well, hey, at least I made a really good trade to try and buy a win as we approach the trade deadline. And that didn't work either. I mean, let's just talk about losers, right? Like, let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about some losers for sure.
Are we starting with losers? Yeah, it seems like that's kind of where we're starting. Keegan, you want to kind of start us off?
Oh wow, okay, yeah, Keegan. Yeah. Let's get the negativity out of the way. We'll do losers, and then
let's
do
get
winners.
It all out. Let's flush it.
Let's flush it. Why don't we start with the loser of the day, which is, I think, your team. Why don't we exercise the demons? Why don't we get the New York Jets vitriol?
Let's get this out of the way.
This is a safe place. You have 3 minutes. I'm going to put a 3-minute timer on for you just to vent on the Jets right now.
Man, where do I start?
Oh God.
I mean, what's unfortunate is the whole team is being strung up and puppeted by a guy who believes in listening to dolphin intercourse noises for the betterment of his Achilles rehab. Everything that has gone wrong with the Jets has to do with Aaron Rodgers, the bad man, the drug man himself, the darkness retreat man. We have an incompetent class clown calling plays for our offense and Nathaniel Hackett, and we sent him up to the booth, and he's only there because Aaron Rodgers in there is, and a guy that we're paying $44 million, and Allen Lazard is supposed to be our wide receiver too, and is, I think, leading the NFL in dropped passes. And the other guy we brought in because Aaron Rodgers wanted to feel comfortable is a healthy scratch. So of our wide receiver core, we played Garrett Wilson, Xavier Gibson, Jason Brownlee today. 2 of those 3 were undrafted players that we signed to the Jets team. Our starting wide receiver has a banged up elbow because he fell on his elbow. And the week prior, Nathaniel Hackett called the passing play for him moments after he banged up his elbow. We lost another offensive lineman today going into the matchup. Breece Hall somehow is still not a feature back after we kicked Michael Carter to the curb, who, mind you, played 15 pass downs last week and has been our go-to 2-minute drill guy. And it took us 11 weeks in the season to figure out that maybe that should be Breece Hall. And then on top of that, our defense got dog walked by Josh Allen because they just get tired and they don't have anything else to do. I mean, they're standing on business every time they go out, but eventually if you stand on business, you get a little tired and your feet hurt. And sometimes you need to sit on business. And today the Jets sat on business and got absolutely abused by a division rival. The season is officially over. I mentioned we're on mock draft territory. I'm staring at the mock draft order, and Jets are now firmly in 10th place. So we're back into reading mock drafts and finding how we could maybe squeak our way into a potential QB draft again. Things are astronomically bad. Our quarterback today was ran off the field to the sideline, and in the most symbolic way possible, he ran into our coach, who tried to hold him up, and they both dramatically fell to the ground. And I don't think I could paint a better picture of what this season has been symbolically than Robert Saleh holding Zach Wilson as they both fall to the ground, which is probably a future insight into what will happen. And it will be Robert Saleh losing his job because Woody Johnson has decided that it's mandatory that Zach Wilson continues to play quarterback. And then when the game was out of reach, we brought Tim Boyle in to play football, which is in itself a massive loser.
That's it.
Yeah,
That was the 3 minute
It was pretty
mark.
bad.
I tried to we do not carry you, and it didn't do it. But
I think I would have broke if I heard that right there. I might have
I
disappeared.
tried to we do not carry you. Yeah, it's dark.
That was kind of dark.
It's dark, dude. Did you see the play where Zach Wilson's running on the field and he ate shit? He ate shit like multiple times in this game.
Yes,
Just a
running on the
clumsy
field
little fella.
to start a drive, and he fell over.
How many touchdown passes does Zach Wilson have this year? Like 3? I saw some.
One less than Tommy DeVito.
Yeah,
I want to say that again.
That was a
I want
stray
to say
from
that
Adam
again.
Schefter.
He has one less touchdown than Tommy DeVito does. Tommy DeVito has played 3 games. Zach
Chicken
Wilson
cutlet
has played
DeVito.
11. Tommy DeVito looks like an extra on The Sopranos. And he's got 6 passing touchdowns.
He lives.
that was
he
tough.
lives with his actual mother and father.
Yep.
I mean, speaking of losers, the Washington Commanders, I don't know if we wanted to go there at all. I had them as a massive loser. Speaking of Tommy DeVito and the Giants, I've had
They were
my
definitely
soapbox
losers
about the
today.
Jets.
They're definitely losers today.
I know Shaun
Dude.
has a grievance against the Jets if he wants to get that out in the air.
I have no grievance against the Jets at all. I just have a grievance against you when you try and dunk on me when the Niners are losing. That's my only grievance is when my own mean team member, who I expect to be 10 toes down, is on my necklace trying to get in my face.
Are we going to talk about
it's
it? Are we
fine.
going to talk
We're
about it?
good, Keegan. I don't think you deserve this. I genuinely root for the Jets to win, but I will be
do.
burying this team in fantasy jail. It will be happening later. But I think other losers that we've had today, I think the biggest loser, and this is somebody I touted, and this is a milk was the bad choice. I think Quentin Johnston.
Yeah. What a fucking disaster.
He gets so open. He's clearly good. His hands, though, he has
Terrible.
the yips. He got hit and it basically had a game-winning touchdown, like hero moment for him. He absolutely cooks a cornerback, gets open, laser beam from Justin Herbert, hits him in the hands, then hits him off the chest, then drops to the ground. I think this guy, every time he gets targeted, every other target is a drop. It's an absolute disaster.
Yeah, he had the one earlier too on another. That was probably like a 30-40 yard deep ball that would have put them inside the 10-yard line. That one was a little more challenging,
disaster.
The hands are a huge issue. And I feel bad for Justin Herbert because, everyone likes to dunk on Justin Herbert. Like, no, he did his job. Like, they should have won that game. So that's Quentin Johnston. Just piggybacking off that, I want to pick another wide receiver who's a massive loser, who's kind of been back and forth on our winners and losers lately, and that's Cooper Kupp. We're officially chalking this up as like a full season-long L. It looked nice when he came back and had that good game with, Puka a couple weeks ago, then had a couple stinkers. Stafford returns, gets hurt early on. Wouldn't be shocked if he misses a week or two. Any type of draft capital you put is just completely wasted on this guy. It's pretty brutal. Like, they've got a pretty cush schedule for the fantasy playoffs, but at this point in the year, I don't think you can really count on anything from Cooper Kupp at this point, which is such a nightmare. Father time might be getting up to him. He is he's like 30 years old already. He came out a little older.
He was old when he came out
as a draft prospect. And dude, it's brutal, dude. Exited I think it was the first quarter. Caught one ball for you, man. You had 2 points in your lineup from a guy who is regularly a walking 20 piece. So that was a tough one.
Are we gonna do early exits? Because I've got some bones to pick with early exits. Because early exits this week pulled my pants down and humiliated me in front of school. That's what early departures did to me this week. I had Mark Andrews, I had Joe Burrow, and then I had my sweet prince Devin Achane. All of them in multiple leagues gone early. And the Achane, oh baby, 2 carries. I saw him limp off the field after he got that touch pass, and it did not look good. He looked really uncomfortable. And in my head, I'm like, oh, just little guy fell on, something to keep your mind on when he gets back out there. And they start running some more plays, then he's not back out there. And I'm thinking, oh, he's done. He's injured. And then I go look up the beat reporters for the Dolphins. Yeah, he's in the medical tent. Turns out that he might not miss any significant time. Sounds like he could have gone back in the game. They wanted to keep it safe. I don't know. But I'm looking at 1.5 fantasy points in my lineup, and it is going to cost me a must-win matchup, and I am devastated. I started DeVon Achane, and I'm a big fat loser. And you throw the Bengals, throw the Ravens, anyone that lost these studs that went out that are huge cogs in their offense, major losers. Absolute fucking nightmare. These early departures, Cooper Kupp, it just sucks, dude. Fantasy's so brutal sometimes.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off you again, as I had this as part of this. The entire tight end position took a massive loss this week. Of course, we lost Mark Andrews. We had one guy score over 13 points, and only 7 eclipsed the 10-point mark. And these weren't
what is it?
Your
Kittle?
Guys that were in your lineup.
Was Kittle tight end one?
Kittle was the only guy that eclipsed. I think he was about 20.
I thought Njoku also hit 12 points today.
I think he had 12.5. But only Kittle was the only one to pass 13. We had 7 go over 10. Really ugly week for the position. We still have Kelsey tomorrow. So who knows? Maybe we get another one there in the 13+ group. But for a position that's actually been kind of better than usual this year, really big egg for the collective group here. So I'm giving a big old fat L to the entire position there.
I didn't even think that angle. We've been celebrating tight ends so much. They've been big winners over the past couple. I know Trey McBride had a nice little game. He didn't score a ton of points. He got a lot of love.
No.
I think in piggybacking off of Trey McBride, I think a big loser, and it's Keegan. I don't want to be that guy, but Marquise Brown is a gigantic loser. Are the intended air yards in the room with us right now? In 2 games with Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown has averaged 3.5 PPR fantasy points per game and has a 15% target share. For context, Trey McBride has had a 24% target share for 4 consecutive games in a row. Yeah. Big loser for Marquise Brown.
Rondale getting involved. Even like the torture chamber was kind of getting loose a little today.
Dortch looks
Dude,
awesome.
The torture chamber led the way. He led the way in
Yeah.
receiving. Both receptions,
Yeah.
targets, yards.
Why doesn't he
He
play?
just didn't get in the end zone.
He's good. I don't get why that guy
He's
doesn't play. He looks dynamic. He's
He's
returning
good, man.
punts for them now. But yeah, Marquise Brown, major loser. Tight ends, major loser. Anything else we have? I have a couple more.
I've got no more losers. I'm ready to get positive soon here.
I've got
Austin Ekeler, massive loser.
oh,
Loser.
he couldn't
Toss Josh Jacobs in there too. Two kind of like alphas, absolute duds.
I mean, Josh Jacobs at least got every carry for the Raiders today. Austin Eckler
Yeah, like 6
I mean, Austin
points.
Eckler's dropping passes. He's fumbling the football.
Slipping.
Like he looked,
slipping.
dude,
today. He
on the
couldn't-
one play that he got loose, he looked like he had cement in his shoes.
high ankle sprains are
I mean-
no joke, dude. Especially when you have as much mileage as he has. He would have had like a check down, not a check down, but like Herbert doesn't look his way now. Like this game, Herbert was not going to him. He was forcing the ball downfield, but he had an opportunity to, I think it was like 2nd and 13 in the fourth quarter. And if Ekeler doesn't slip and fall, it's like a 20-yard gain, and he slips and falls on like a critical 2nd and 13. And then that touchdown opportunity where he's just usually so money. He eats shit, gets up, runs forward, fumbles. It was a terrible look for Ekeler.
And I don't want to sit here and say like he was terrible. I mean, he averaged six yards a pop today, but he's not the Austin Ekeler that you draft in the top 5 picks of your fantasy football league, hoping where he catches 5 to 6 passes on top of rushing for 60 yards and also is a goal line threat. He was just not that. I mean, Justin Herbert led the way in rushing for the Chargers. I mean, winners for sure. I thought Herbert played really good and had a nice fantasy day today, but there's just so many stud players in fantasy football that just don't do anything. In must-win weeks right now, like the must-win weeks, we're like fighting for playoff spots, and some of the top picks are absolute busts right now.
Stephon Diggs had a rough game. I've got one. Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne has had, over his past 3 games, he's averaged 7.7 fantasy points per game. Before that, he was averaging, for like a 3-week stretch, he had averaged 27 per game.
He had a huge month. Yeah, that was tough.
Dude, Kenneth Walker, the home run hitters, like they're just not hitting home right now.
Oh,
Kenneth
he got
Walker
hurt.
leaves the
Walker's
game
hurt.
early
Walker's hurt.
with a core injury.
He's not playing
or
Thursday.
oblique.
There's no chance.
No.
There's no chance.
No, short week for him. So Kenneth Walker, this is
They
why
might
we
get
say on the
dog
waiver
walked on
episode to
Thanksgiving, dude.
pick up people like
Zach
Zach
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet.
Ooh, Charbonnet
Pick up
looked
people
good.
like Tyler Algier.
There might even be some
and-
DJ Dallas action on Thursday. I don't think
Niners
K9
are
plays.
in a good spot there. The
They're gonna stomp them.
Seahawks, major losers. Oh, just fat, giant
Fumbled.
frauds, losers, whatever you want to label it. I know Geno
Hashtag
Smith
no
got
bias.
hurt, no bias, but like
No bias.
you got to win that
Zero.
game. Can't win that game. DK Metcalf's going
Yeah.
crazy. His first big game he's had in like over a month. The last one I've had here, and this one just hurts my. It hurts my soul, but it also like I'm so conflicted watching my sweet prince Sade, Rachaad White. He killed Talanoa Hufanga today. He literally shook him so hard he tore his ACL. And Talanoa
He tore
Hufanga
his ACL.
is a
That was
loser.
brutal.
Unfortunately, Huff, get better, get well, dude. Like seriously, but this man shook him so hard he ended his season.
He took his he legitimately took his knee ligaments with one nasty juke move, bro. That was pretty gross.
Sade this is one of the tougher matchups for running backs, and this man threw up another 18 fantasy points. Like, I guess that's a good place to transition to winners. I'm gonna call out
Let's go win.
Rachaad White. Rachaad White is like the PPR RB5 this season. Dude has been nails. Absolute.
Yeah, the last couple
nails.
weeks he's like completely turned it on. Like the touches have been like converting into like touchdowns, bigger plays. It's been pretty cool.
He's even looked a little bit better running between the tackles as their offensive line's gotten better. But this guy turns into prime Le'Veon Bell when he catches the ball. He's just not great when he runs it.
You can't keep getting away
You
with
need
this. Calm,
to
bro.
watch him
You
move.
cannot keep getting
He
away with
jukes like
No.
Lev Bell when he gets the ball as a receiver. I'm telling you guys.
When me and Aidan were together today, we watched a like Sade rush attempt, and then we watched a Sade pass catch
It's
right after
absurd.
that went for like 6 yards.
It's night and
And
day.
it's night and day. Yes,
I don't
literally.
get it. I really
It's night
don't
and
get
day. I think it's a different player. I think they sub somebody else in the 1 jersey when he catches the pass because I don't
Yeah,
understand. Aidan looked at me. He was like, he catches the ball and he runs like a perfect running back once he has it.
He's got
It
no
doesn't make
vision.
any sense.
He has no vision between the tackles. He has no idea.
But when he's out in space, and he's got Mike Evans in front of him, he's like, "This is how I win."
Snatches
And
souls.
then he goes.
Yeah, it's absurd. And I think we can stay on this game. If we're going to talk about soul snatchers, we got to talk about my other sweet prince. I'm going to say my king, and that is Brock motherfucking Purdy, major winner on the week. The first 49er quarterback to have a perfect passer rating since Joe Montana, 21 of 25, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27 fantasy points. The 49ers win today by 14 points. This guy is setting up to be a top 9 or 8 fantasy quarterback rest of way. He's got matchups against Seattle, Philadelphia, Seattle, Arizona, Baltimore, Washington, Los Angeles. Guys, I wouldn't be shocked if he makes a legit run at the MVP.
No, he's not.
Wouldn't be
All right.
shocked.
I'm gonna step in. I'm
Wouldn't
stepping
be
in there.
shocked if he makes a legit run at the MVP.
On top of that, Brandon Aiyuk, you're a massive winner. I'm a winner as well. For my takes, I've been saying all offseason and all season, Brandon Aiyuk is the better option every single week than Debo. I don't care about the Jets sweeps. I don't care. Brandon Aiyuk is such a better week-to-week option, and dude absolutely got loose again. Purdy threw a great ball to him. I don't know why they don't throw many more go balls to Aiyuk. The dude runs just crisp routes, just breaks people off the line of scrimmage. Jesus Christ, Shaun.
Water everywhere.
Yeah, Brock Purdy has you absolutely rattled.
Jesus,
No,
I'm literally gushing.
Brandon Aiyuk, great. I am shutting down the Brock Purdy MVP talk completely in its tracks, though. We won't be doing that on the show.
The haters can't stand us. I'm gonna have this disgusting spill. Aiyuk, incredible. Great. That was the longest touchdown reception of the season. This season. I think it was like a 75-yard touchdown. Absolutely.
76.
He left Jamel Dean. He sent him to the injured reserve. He literally snatched his soul.
He was in midair, just trying to get it. I was like, oh, this looks silly, brother. That's a bad look.
Yeah, Aiyuk looked amazing. George Kittle looked amazing. George Kittle's quietly having one of the best years of his career. No one's talking about it.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks have been pretty nice.
He's taken all of Debo's. Debo's been kind of a quiet loser.
Yeah,
it's rough if you draft him in fantasy or named your fantasy team after him. Keegan, do you have any other winners from week 11?
I got lots of winners.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Keegan's crying.
Yeah, Keegan's crying.
I'm gonna go winners.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna go another. I'm gonna do a little BOGO here. This is a QB and wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley, man.
I had him too.
What a week.
I had him too. I had him on my winners list. Week. Amazing. Welcome back, baby.
Yeah. T-Law wide receiver, QB1, Ridley wide receiver 1. These guys haven't cracked the top. These guys have only cracked the top 10 once since the first week. So really nice to see those two guys get right. Lawrence had 4 total touchdowns. So I know we touched on Etienne. There kind of just wasn't enough to go around. It was just it was the Trevor Lawrence show. I think Trevor Lawrence has taken a ton of shit lately, and it's pretty well deserved. The dude's been super mid, and he kind of snapped out of it today. So yeah, really awesome game for those guys, man. Really 100 yards, 2 tutties, awesome game. Lawrence, 260 yards through the air, 4 total touchdowns. So really impressive showing from that Jacksonville passing attack today.
I got T-Law'd today. It was really it sucked. The second rushing touchdown really sucked. It was like kicking dirt on a grave. I don't know if you guys have saw Calvin Ridley's pass chart today. He got a screen pass. He got a couple over the middle of the field routes. They let him actually run over the middle of the field. They gave
him some Kirk routes.
Yeah, they didn't run him in impossible go ball situations, and he benefited greatly. Lawrence finished today with 32 fantasy points. Ridley, 7 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, 31 fantasy points. Big day for the Jaguars after the curb stomping that they received last week. Major bounce back for them.
Yeah.
Another winner I had was Jaylen Warren. A huge, massive game for Warren against one of the best defenses in the NFL. 23.5 fantasy points. He only had 9 carries today, 129 yards. He had a touchdown, 3 catches, 16 yards. Most importantly, though, Najee Harris had 12 carries for 35 yards, and this was the first game all season that he said a sub 10% target share. I mean, the Warren's taking this job. I know Ridley. Harris technically out touched him today, and Harris is going to continue to see run, but it kind of feels like Warren's taking this job.
Yeah, he's got way more juice. That long touchdown run he had was pretty sweet. So
it's like
big shout out to
young Austin Ekeler.
Big shout out.
It's like watching young Austin Ekeler play. It's pretty cool.
Your comps are crazy, but
he looks like Austin Ekeler. Come on.
No, I'll get
early.
The number
career.
30. The number
if he
30.
Looked like Austin Ekeler, he would have put up sub 10 points. So
okay, no, Keegan, run winners. No, run winners, Keegan. Good vibes. They've even got
They've even got the same height, weight, build. Come on, he's like Gen Z Austin Ekeler. Don't hate on my guy Jaylen Warren.
Yeah. Let's keep the good vibes rolling. I want to highlight, I guess, another running back.
Do you guys think that Austin Ekeler gets upset every week because he sucks at fantasy football because he rosters himself? Like, I'm just curious about that.
He's scored over 20 fantasy points.
While we're talking about Austin Ekeler.
He's scored over 20 fantasy points like a month straight. I have no idea where you're getting this vitriol from. He had one bad game, Keegan.
No, we need to keep good vibes. We're going to keep good vibes. We're going to shut down.
I'm just curious. I mean, the guy rosters himself, and, what does he do when he goes out there? He's in control of his own destiny. I mean, that should be the best calling card you could ask for when you're starting a fantasy guy. You're like, wow, this guy's going to start himself and go out there and play real football. Like, I'm in good hands.
Austin he probably sees his game check clear and doesn't really care. And it's like, wow, I just made $1 million today. So good for me.
He's such a prick.
Austin
All right,
Ekeler,
who are we talking about? Winners?
Austin Eckler's last 3 weeks before this one, 23.3, 21, 21.5. Come on, bro. He had one bad
well,
week.
Those weren't must-win matchups.
Well, draft better. All right, who's your next winner, Aidan?
They should draft better.
Jesus Christ. I wanted to say James Cook.
Major winner.
Really nice outing.
Major winner.
From the boy. Yeah, Shaun, you pointed out. I was texting you earlier about it. The usage was awesome. He had the most amount of carries he's had all year. 17. He had this in like week 2 or 3. 73 yards. Really nice designed play on that touchdown where he kind of came out of the backfield, fake block and was just wide open there in the flat. So really cool, man. Running back 9 finish for him. Looks like Joe Brady is going to kind of prioritize getting him the football a bit more than Dorsey doing, as, believe it or not, yeah, he's the best running back in that running back room. So good things happen when you get your best players the ball. Really fun day for James Cook. Could be a nice sign of things to come for your fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, Ken Dorsey, major loser. They talked all that shit out of him. He gets fired. Twitter hated the move. The Bills fans loved it, and then they come out and score 30 on the Jets defense. That's
tough.
That's pretty crazy to see for Joe Brady. I mean, we've made it. I know we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but major winner is the posse. Tony Pollard.
There it is.
Tony Pollard looks pretty good. He breaks like 2 tackles to score his 21-yard touchdown. It was not like
it was like 4
clear the runway. It was not a clear the runway.
Yeah.
He also had 5 targets, 4 catches. So if he is getting targets, Tony Pollard is going to be in an RB1 territory. If he isn't, it's going to be very hard for him to hit his ceiling. So major win for Tony Pollard and the posse. Yep. 10 toes down, stand the fuck up. Gotta love it. Standing on business.
Let's keep the good vibes rolling out of the state of Texas. Another kind of little guy, but no little scores. Nathaniel Tank Dell, come on down, dude. The last 3 weeks, dude, out of control, dude. Let me read off his stat lines. This is the wide receiver 1 in that offense. Nico Collins, take a back seat, brother. You are now the wide receiver 2, and it is not up for debate. Last 3 weeks, 6 of 11 targets, 114 yards and 2 touchdowns, 29 points for wide receiver 1. 6 of 11 targets, 56 yards and a touchdown for 19 points, wide receiver 12. Today, he had 8 of 10 targets, 149 yards, that awesome touchdown before half, 28.9 yards for wide receiver 3. Tank Dell is a man on fire and has to be in your lineup every single week going forward. His chemistry with CJ Stroud is special. So there is zero debate who the alpha pass catcher in that offense is. And if you still have him on your benches, I don't know what to tell you. It's inexcusable at this point, dude. The guy he's a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 1 at this point. He's Like
he's really
absolutely.
good. You've
He's
been on
really
him
fucking good.
from day one, right? You
Separation, like his
drafted
routes
him
are crisp.
in our 2023
Yeah.
wide receiver pass catcher draft. You drafted him, so we're gonna give you your flowers there.
Thank you.
And you did draft Zay flowers, so we'll give you there.
Yeah.
Dell is clearly the alpha. You already said it, but he's like everything is kind of based off of it. Like then Nico catches screens, and Nico's like this yak guy that complements Dell. It's a really nice 1-2 punch. And then Dalton Schultz is like a big possession tight end. I know that CJ is the straw that stirs the drink and kind of makes all these guys look better than I think they are. But man, it's a nice pass catching group.
Their offense is really
sick.
fun.
And then
man.
Devin Singletary is a huge winner today.
Another awesome game. Yeah,
another awesome game. I don't think Dameon Pierce is gonna. Dameon Pierce is it's gonna be the 30% back, right? Singletary is the offensive identity.
Yeah,
they've leaned on him.
There's not like a single thing
amazing.
Yeah, like Pierce hasn't done any in between the tackles. There's nothing that Pierce has done this year that looks better than what Singletary is doing right now. So he's a 3-down back going forward, which is not something I saw coming.
Singletary week 10, 30 carries, 150 yards and a score. Singletary week 11, 22 carries, 112 yards and a score. I think their offensive line's gotten healthy and their offensive line looks a lot better. So maybe the jury's still out a bit on Pierce. I don't know, but damn. Singletary looks fantastic.
Yep.
Other winner I had today was Saquon Barkeley. I just got to shout out Saquon, 30 fantasy points on the day. Tommy DeVito had 3 touchdowns. Saquon, 83 rushing yards, 57 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. It's been brutal. He's really been the only one that can operate in that offense, so big sigh of relief.
Damn. Dude, there were a lot of winners today. I got 2 more. Or it's 3.
Okay, let's hear it.
One's another package deal. I've got another package deal. Justin Fields and DJ Moore back to fantasy relevance, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. Top 10 finishes for both of those guys.
Fields looked awesome.
Yeah, Fields looked awesome. We'll get more into the Bears in jail. I won't spoil anything, but Fields looked awesome. Over 250 total yards, turnover free until the last couple seconds, which never should have really came down to that. QB8 on the week. DJ Moore just shy of 100 yards and a touchdown. He's going to shatter pretty much all of his single season highs. Maybe not catches, but yards and touchdowns. He's on pace to shatter both of them. So good to see him. This is a team too that's got pretty friendly matchups in the playoffs. I think it's the Cardinals and the Falcons week 16 and 17. So good time for those guys to get healthy and kind of start clicking again, as that could pay dividends for you down the stretch. Last one while I'm on them too. Speaking of the Cardinals, is Kyler Murray. Awesome, dude. 2 weeks back, QB 13, QB 6 today. The guy looks like
back.
Zero rust. There's zero rust whatsoever. He's running around making plays with his legs, throwing absolute moonball. Dude, the ball he threw to Rondale Moore to start the game, absolutely perfect. Dude, just rainbow ball. So yeah, Kyler Murray, man. If you got a hold of him, you're in a good spot. He's got a friendly matchup too.
He looked a little rusty in the pocket, a little bit like maneuvering. I'm being nitpicky. Like pressure was, but he still can bail. He's got all the speed. The arm looks good. He's making beautiful throws. So I noticed a couple moments where he didn't feel the pressure that well today, but that's nitpicky. Kyler looks all the way back. I'm starting him next week over Sam Howell. I'm ready to throw him in the starting lineup. I'm pumped.
He's locked into my lineups. Like I'm not even flinching. His rushing upside is just so sweet, dude. Like you get an extra 5 or 10 every week from him on the ground.
You guys want to go to jail? You guys want to send some
do
folks? All right.
Let's do it.
Let's cue it.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
All right. I'm going to kick things off here. And I got to send Brandon Staley to jail. All right. Brandon Staley, not only does he coach another disaster class, when asked after the fact, after his humiliating loss, if he was going to give up play calling, he gets incredibly defensive and incredibly defensive. And he says, I'm not giving up play calling. So you could stop asking that question. Just very, very defensive, very, very short, angry, having a little tantrum. Brandon,
he's getting fired.
You suck.
He won't make it past this year.
He sucks. He genuinely sucks. His defense sucks. His defense has never been good. Never been good. And you've wasted 4 years of Justin Herbert. You can't win close games. You genuinely suck. And you haven't really hurt fantasy. If anything, now it's awesome because we get to start players against your shitty defense. But fantasy jail is an opportunity for us to go after some coaches that just stink. So, Brandon, go to jail. I'm excited to see you be a defensive coordinator because I think you'll shine in that role. But you are done. I'm done with you. Go to jail. Stop being defensive reporters.
There it is. Let's send some more coaches to jail. Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy, you are going to federal fucking prison, my friend, dude. Let me read you this stat, gentlemen.
What happened?
Let me read you this stat, dude.
Lose?
Since 1932, no NFL team has ever lost with a +3 turnover margin and 40 minutes time of possession. They were 48-0 all time. Since this happened, you have a 12-minute lead with 3 minutes left. The offense goes complete chicken shit down the stretch. Just Luke Getsy, just absolute. Like, Justin Fields has been running all over the place, getting outside of the pocket. Then we're just like, stuff Khalil Herbert up the middle twice, and then deep ball, which honestly should have been hit. Tyler Scott slowed down on that route. And then Eberflus's defense just went into like this like shell zone look after they have just been making like Goff's life hell all day with pressure. So it was like, Matt Eberflus is such a terrible coach. And it's this, I've seen this movie so many times in Fields games where it's like he plays an awesome game, gives you more than enough 26 points. We're leading by more than 10. It's like you've got multiple times in the second half where you've got 4th and 1 in the Lions territory and we kick field goals. Another time where we could have gone for 2 to go up by 7 instead of 6, and then just like, it's just such a master class of how bad these guys are at coaching. And I just feel so bad for Justin Fields, man. Like, he did everything right. Sure, people are going to pin that last fumble at the end, but like, he should have never had the ball at that point. That game should have been on ice long before that. So I don't know. It sucks. I guess like if you're Ryan Poles, you probably look at this and like you're pretty happy with what Fields did, but like he didn't win the game. Like, your team didn't win the game. Eberflus is 1 game closer to being fired. If it was up to me, he'd be fired tomorrow. Like, you cannot lose a game like this. Like, because you win a game like today, you're at 4-7 in a kind of weak NFC North. Like, you could make a little
Packers
run.
Are making a run right now. They're making a run.
You could make a little run if you beat the Lions. You've got the Vikings next week. You win that game, you're staring down 5-7, and it's like, this like the deck is still stacked against you, but like it's there in front of you still. And no, so absolute disaster. Both of them fucking suck. Luke Getsy won't get another OC job, and Matt Eberflus, he won't coach again either. He'll be lucky to get a DC job, but these guys suck, dude. It's just cowards, dude. I hate seeing his face on the sideline.
Cowards. That's the second what the fuck fourth quarter meltdown that they've had against the Broncos.
They should have won both of those games. Both of those games.
I'm really upset because the Niners need to get the 1 seed, and I was like very excited about the Bears.
They dominated that game, like in every aspect of the game until the last like 3 minutes.
Keegan, I'm sorry. I gotta send the Jets to jail, dude. This was fucking terrible. I am in a must-win matchup, and I'm watching Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson, and I'm like, all right, I need a field goal, touchdown here. Let's get after it. I'm playing the Bills defense, and it's like every time they go out there, they're giving the Bills defense more points. And I'm on Sleeper right now, and they give the breakdown of the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills scored 22 fantasy points today on defense. They had a special teams forced fumble. They had 2 fumble recoveries. They got 7 points for only allowing 1 to 6 points. They had a special teams fumble recovery. They had 2 interceptions. They had a forced fumble, and they had 6 sacks. That is 22 fantasy points.
Draft better.
Tim Boyle to jail. Tim Robert Salt. Why?
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle's not better than Zach fucking Wilson. He's not. Tim Boyle's is the worst. And backup quarterbacks, I'm done with them. How many backup quarterbacks are we going to watch every single Sunday? It's the year of the backup, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of how many backup quarterbacks I
The
have to
NFL's in a bad place this year. It's a bad product on Sundays.
You've been over it since the Taylor Swift game. Your heart's not been in it since the Taylor.
Well, that's
Swift
the
game.
only thing propping up this NFL season is Taylor Swift. Speaking of bad quarterback play and bad coaches, we should fire Ron Rivera into the sun along with this Sam Howell this week. Last week Sam Howell I'm cool with, and many weeks before I'm cool with, but this week Sam Howell and Ron Rivera should be catapulted together out onto Alcatraz on an island by themselves. I mean, that Sam Howell pick six that he threw that got returned for a touchdown was atrocious. Like,
did he throw two?
He threw a lot of bad balls. He just
he threw a lot of bad footballs today.
Regression.
I don't know what
Sam
the Commander's goal is. I don't
Howell.
care about regression, but like, what are we doing, dude? Like, is this still? I still believe like this is some articulate mastercraft shit plan to get Ron Rivera canned and then Eric Bieniemy can step in. But what are we doing scheming up plays for Diami Brown? You know, what are we doing like scheming up plays for 37-year-old father Logan Thomas? Like, well, we have Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson on the team, and you know, Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. Like, there's so many good skill players on this team, and we're choosing to scheme up plays for Diami Brown. Byron
Pringle, bro.
Byron Pringle got a schemed up play today, dude. Like, that is the most Eric Bieniemy shit I've ever seen. Like
the Commanders in targets today.
Pringle can.
I don't know. Pringle.
Brian Robinson.
Thomas.
Brian Robinson led.
My God.
That's fine.
Commanders
That's good.
today.
I'm okay with that.
That's
like,
suboptimal.
know who your best players
suboptimal.
are. Of course, it's suboptimal, but like, know who your best players are and play to your strength. I mean, you just got. It was an ass kicking by the New York Football Giants for the Commanders today. I mean, that's an embarrassing
They've owned them
loss
twice now
to
this
take.
year. They've owned the Manders. I think didn't they beat them both times, or the Manders squeak? No, yeah, they beat them both times this year.
No, they lost both times. Their cornerback was running his mouth. I forget what his
Deontay
name was.
Banks.
I don't
He's
know.
been good. Banks has been good. this year.
Yeah.
That rookie from Maryland.
I don't know who's
They said,
responsible
"Fuck
for
the
it, but
Commanders."
yeah, I saw
He
that.
said, "Left
I don't know
hand
who's
down,
responsible for it, but
motherfucker."
enough of this like shelling the ball out Kansas City Chiefs offense. Like,
You
Sam
want
Howell
your
is not
McLaurin and
Patrick
Dotson
Mahomes.
take. You want Dotson targets. That's what I know Keegan
bro,
wants.
I just don't understand why NFL teams, like NFL coaches, are allowed to go out there and scheme up plays for players that aren't their best players.
What they're allowed.
Sucks.
Like,
Yeah, they do it all the time. dude.
why are they allowed to do that? I know they do it all the time. Like, what are we doing? You know, it's like Ken Dorsey scheming up runs for Latavius Murray when James Cook is just sitting on the sideline, and he lost his job. Why does Ron Rivera still have a job?
Ron's gonna get canned.
I don't get it.
Ron's gonna get
Ron's
canned.
getting canceled.
Probably
and
pretty
then
soon.
The enemy will get promoted.
Him and Staley are first coach. They're gonna be necking it out for first coach fired.
Don't leave Eberflus out of this. Don't leave Eberflus out of this.
Another
He
guy
like
who's
Ward.
on the hot seat is Frank Reich, and I gotta throw Frank Reich in fantasy jail because he gave up play calling and then took it back in like 3 weeks. That is crazy. That man gave up play calling and then he gave Thomas Brown the game ball in his first ever game that he called and was like, Thomas Brown's our guy, and then just took it back. He took it back. And then the game they lost to the Bears, I know this was last Thursday, he wore the worst hat I have ever seen in my entire life. He looked like a court jester. It was truly one of the most hideous hats I have ever seen. And he should have went to jail for that, but we didn't record last Sunday. But he definitely needs to go to jail for the fact that he literally gave up play calling, then just took it right back, and then got absolutely shithoused by the Cowboys.
Yeah, that sucks.
It sucks. It's just atrocious. Yeah. He needs to get some communal cowboy gear. That's what he needs. All right.
Yeah,
he needs it in his life.
He needs a
No,
smoke.
losers aren't allowed to wear that.
I got no one else for jail, dude. The cells are full. It's a full house. We're gonna have to get some people out of there, or maybe build another cell block because things are getting serious in cell block hell.
Hip drop tackles, jail. I'm over it.
Jail.
Fucking over
Jail.
it. You take Mark Andrews. You take Mark Andrews from me. Oh, you took him from me.
Nearly took Lamar. Too, man.
Oh my God, Mark.
Let's drink some milk.
Mark, I miss you.
All
right, let's drink some milk and get out of here.
You guys got some milk for us?
Yep.
Milk was a bad choice.
All right, real quick. Milk was a bad choice. I had Deebo Samuel quite high in my rankings, almost like neck and neck with Aiyuk. Deebo was not used much today. It was the Aiyuk and Kittle show. So that's tough. I still believe in you, Deebo. I had Puka over Kupp. That was a great call because of injuries, but still I had him. I had Gibbs as a top 3 play. And the surgeon himself looked at me silly. Gibbs is going to remain a top 5 play rest of season. I was super high on Derrick Henry last week, and he was held under 6 fantasy points. I was low on Tony Pollard, but come on, that was a reverse jinx, right? Was it?
I like that.
Was it?
Yep, that was reverse.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
I also had DeVon Achane top 8. Injuries suck, but still, come on. I should have relaxed. I didn't need to have him so high. First game back. Keegan, any milk for you, man?
Yeah, a ton. Let me go ahead and pull this up just so I can. It was pretty bad this week.
Is this like a gallon or like what volume of milk do you think you're looking at?
More than I could physically handle in a human body.
Okay.
So much milk.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp at 5. Rough call. Jamar Chase 7. Stephon Diggs 8. All brutal. Aiyuk okay call at 9. Devontae Adams pretty good. Garrett Wilson at 14 was a tough call. Having Puka all the way down at 16 was not good. Debo at 15 for the week was pretty bad.
You can't drag your entire rankings over the coals. You're fine.
Well, no, but these were people that I was like notably higher on. Like I was notably higher on Debo this week.
We were.
I was pretty.
We were.
Yeah, I was. The other ones are fine. Like those top 10 play guys that you think you start every week.
Diggs fucked us, but come on, everyone had Diggs there. Like you're like, don't be too hard on yourself. He just had a bad.
Pretty big bummer to catapult Marquise Brown pretty high up. I probably could have been a little less aggressive on that one. Like that one hurt. I was so low on Calvin Ridley this week. That was kind of like a wait till I see it kind of thing. I had him all the way down at 27. Cortland Sutton continues to just like buck the notion that he's a bad wide receiver and plays really good. I was pretty low on him as well, but for the most part, not too bad, I guess. I think running backs is where it gets hairy for me because I was also aggressive on DeVon Achane this week. I had him as my 3rd best play on the weekend.
He got hurt. Come on. You're fine.
Jahmyr Gibbs was good. Brees was good. Tony was good. Not too bad on the top like running back guys. Like I was pretty high on Singletary this week. Derrick Henry. What a bummer of a game. We didn't really talk about Tractor Cito in losers, but
brutal.
That was kind of a bummer of a game for him. Who else? I don't know. Like I could honestly go down an entire list and spill a bunch of milk that really got me caught up this week, but it wasn't great.
I got to go through the off-season archives and start picking apart some milk here because I know I've got some milk. Aidan's got some milk.
Not me. I'm
got
clean.
some milk. You don't have any milk from last week.
Always.
So you're too busy raging in Austin. So,
yeah, I was out of state. I was out of state doing my thing.
Before we jump, guys, Thanksgiving's coming up. What's one thing you're thankful for?
Tony Pollard getting in the end zone today. I texted one of our group chats. I had a dream on.
You did.
I think it was Friday night. I literally had a dream and I woke up and I was like, damn. I was like sad I woke up because I was like I would do anything to see Tony Pollard, and then he dragged a couple of guys in today and I was like, it wasn't quite how it looked in my dream, but like I think it was better. It really happened. It was like low-key tears in my eyes. Me and Keegan looked at each other like, did it happen? Did the posse stand up? And we stood up pretty tall, 10 toes. So yeah, I'm thankful for Tony Pollard, RB11, which felt like an RB1 finish.
Keegan, what are you thankful for, man?
I'm thankful for the innate human ability to make a choice, because Friday there's Black Friday football, and I, as a human, have the ability to choose not to watch it, and I'm pretty thankful.
You guys are
for
gonna
that.
win though. You're gonna beat the.
Wait, someone plays on Friday?
Yes, the Jets and the Dolphins play on Black Friday on Amazon.
The only game on Friday
Yes,
evening.
they're going to
You
play
get one game.
a Black Friday game. We're getting a Thursday,
That's one
Friday,
game.
Sunday, Monday.
So we get 3 on Thursday, 1 on Friday.
Sunday.
There's probably 6 on Sunday.
There's some buys, I think, right? So
Yeah, we got a couple buys and then 1.
Niners
Wow,
play on
that's-
Thanksgiving night against my fucking dreaded rivals. If they lose that game, my Thanksgiving is ruined. It's ruined.
just throwing up.
It's ruined.
Just throwing up turkey.
I'm literally gonna get kicked out of the house. Like the people I'm with don't understand how big big of a deal this game is. I'm thankful for you two. I missed you guys last Sunday, so it's
There we go.
Well,
nice
that
to
was
get on
nice.
and
that was much more positive
talk
than
and-
me.
and hang out. I love you guys, so I'm thankful for the
And-
both of you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what it's all about.
Yeah,
Thanks,
It's all
Shaun. I'm
about.
thankful for you guys
Yeah.
too.
Keegan, do you feel
Yeah,
better?
Thankful for the mean team.
Keegan, do you feel
No.
better after
You almost just called me Kegel. So
Keegan,
Definitely not.
do you feel better after this hour? Do you feel a little better, cathartic? You know, got to let some demons out.
no, dude. I mean, bro.
God, I just spilled all my water. Fuck you, Keegan.
I heard that.
Oh,
I'm thankful for the mean team too. We can't do without the mean team. Love the banter with you guys on YouTube and Twitter. God, Shaun is all over
I'm
himself right
obsessed.
now. This is
I
great.
might have had a couple.
If you're watching on
bourbons. I
YouTube,
might have had a couple bourbons.
yeah. But yeah, no, the mean team is the gasoline that powers this train. So yeah, this engine. So I kind of lost my train of thought on that one, but no, we love you guys.
That's how we're gonna end this one. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Until next time.